Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. It is now Saturday, March 9th. Kind of took a lull and then came back. Got Jade Flashwing Molten Hot Dog Series 2 Spiral all unboxed. We're going to finish it up with our final regular, and then I'll have to actually crank up the wireless portal for the remaining two. Spiral was the first in our Magic Trio, if you will, and the second up is going to be Wrecking Ball. Spent a few seconds debating if I should roll Wrecking Ball into the frame, and of course with him being on a base I can't do that. This is of course a Series 1 Wrecking Ball, Series 2 Wrecking Ball. Got a, I don't know that I'd call it a repose as much as just maybe a change of expression, but that said it's pretty cool. And initially, Wrecking Ball was left on the shelves. I mean, it wasn't quite as bad as Boomer and Voodooed. Ghost Roaster was kind of neglected too. I think that's a lot of parents were kind of leery of picking him up for their kids. That said, Wrecking Ball, I think he resonated well with kids. You know, this was or younger players. You know, and of course, I think with people that like Kirby. You know, in all honesty, just kind of gives off that vibe. But he's one of those ones, once you played with him, people really started to appreciate him. Two paths, you know, I think there was Total Tongue and Ultimate Spinner. I went Total Tongue, and what I'll do with Series 2 here is actually Ultimate Spinner, so we'll kind of get to check that one out. But looks like Total Tongue is front and center there with the box art. Once again, it seems... I don't know, this Wave 4 round, I've been pretty impressed with the, actual artwork on the packaging. But that aside, there's Wrecking Ball. You can see his slogan there is Wreck and Roll. Of course, being Series 2, not only does it work in Giants, where he will be able to switch paths, have the Wow Pow, and go up to level 15, but say that you fully max him out, and then you get the old game, or you already have it, you can throw him into Skylanders Spyro's Adventure. He'll play... Of course, the level cap there will be at 10, and similarly can't switch paths, won't have the Wow Pow. But say you take your Series 2 Wrecking Ball down Ultimate Spinner, you're not a fan and you want to try something else out, you can actually go back to Total Tongue and then simply go back to the other game. So there are little ways to work around it, but nonetheless, I assume that'll work. Don't know why it wouldn't. I would actually have to freeze the chip or something, but we'll get into that later as I explore some more. The only thing else I want to point out here on the front side, Series 1, I guess you can kind of see a slight discrepancy in the color, just a little bit darker on the top. I think that's supposed to be kind of an armored shell type situation. Seems a little bit more pronounced, I noticed, with Series 2. I think you might be able to see it better once it's out, but it's a brighter blue and then kind of a darker, more grayscale up on the top end, but we'll highlight that here in a second. Coming around to the back, you know what it's going to say. Wrecking Ball back and better than ever. New Wow Pow increased level cap to 15. There's his screenshot. Nothing too fancy there. Showcase of the other magic element. We've got Pop Fizz, Spyro, Wrecking Ball himself, and Double Trouble. We'll go ahead now, get him out of the packaging and take a look at him. Story on Wrecking Ball is kind of strange. I guess he began life as a grub worm, and an old wizard was actually going to feature him as the main ingredient in one of his cauldrons of magical stew. And story goes that when he put the grub worm Wrecking Ball in, he was actually shocked when the grub worm wound up devouring all of the stew, emerging from the pot 20 times larger. And what really surprised him is when Wrecking Ball had a long, sticky tongue that then ate the wizard whole. Shortly after that, kind of having a hard time getting into this one. Shortly after that, he ran, they say literally, into Eon. He was intrigued by his unique abilities, made him a Skylander, and the rest is history. So, again, not necessarily the best background story, but interesting nonetheless. here he is freed from the main packing. I did also notice, this will just be like nitpicking things, but if you note back there, just above where the tongue disappears, there's kind of like a little place where they either got black paint on the blue or just kind of scuffed it up a little bit. Similarly on the gum there's like a black spot just above my thumbnail. Real minor stuff. Overall he looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and bust him out. Again, the way I like to do it is come in from the bottom and grab the base. He wasn't nestled in quite as well as Spyro. Freeze card here. What you're going to get is Series 2 Wrecking Ball, his stat card, and then of course behind that we're going to have a sticker sheet that has his sticker action scene, if you will, the name, QR code, and then down below that we actually have the web code for Skylanders Universe. I don't think I mentioned it actually, but it came from GameStop.com, $9.99 plus shipping. We'll kind of recap that at the end. We will go ahead and begin and take a look at his stats here, and we will bring Wrecking Ball in to do the same. Power or strength, he's at 60 of 150. Defense or armor, 95 of 150. Speed or agility, 65 of 150. And luck, 70 of 150. So that's going to put him at what, 130, 195, 290. I think Spyro came in at 300. So again, sadly, the stat card doesn't necessarily correlate to anything in the game, but since they do give it to us, we go ahead and talk about it. So, that said, here's what you probably really care about. It is Wrecking Ball himself. You can kind of see, again, when I was talking about, showcased it with Series 1 Wrecking Ball. It's like a really kind of a unique bright blue, almost like a light metallic or something from an old muscle car. But the top end, it's more obvious that's kind of like intended to be like an armor, protective shell, something of that nature on this one. Also, they added, he's got kind of 3, well, I guess he did have 3 on that one. I always thought it was just 2. But nonetheless, I mean, it's roughly the exact same thing, just whereas this leg was up, and again, that doesn't really make him look menacing. He's just kind of got like a different tooth structure. I don't recall that from the upgrades, but I didn't pay a lot of attention to Wrecking Ball. That said, he was kind of an amusing character to use, but in Series 1 pulls, he just kind of had 4 teeth, 2 on the bottom lip, they would be the outboard and the inboard coming down from the top. It looks like he has small inboard top teeth on this one, but just like saber tooth effect to the extreme on that. Still has like those same follow you eyes, kind of double trouble-esque. Seems to be common with the magic element now that I think about it. But overall, I think it's an upgrade from Series 1. He looks a little bit more menacing. I mean, he really looks like a goofball in all honesty, but I mean, if you had to pick which one of these you thought would be tougher, I guess, I don't know, this one does look a little more rugged, but I think it's just those giant teeth kind of give off that danger, maybe imminent vibe. But the detail does seem to be a little better. You can kind of see it on his underbelly there. Get my thumb out of the way. Series 1, not quite as defined as the Series 2. But again, roughly the same pulls. There's not really a whole lot they can do given the packaging restrictions. Ultimate Spinner, I mean, you just have like this giant static look. I don't know, I mean, like we could get in maybe, I don't know if they repose them again, there might be like a retractable tongue is about all else I can think of. But nonetheless, like I said, he has a very large fan base. I think a lot of people are unaware of that. But, like I said, I'll take him down. This time we'll go down the other path, kind of see how we like it. Most important thing I'm excited about with Wrecking Ball is just seeing what his wow pow is. Hopefully it'll be, a good one. We'll kind of take it from there, go in stride. But nonetheless, again, I got this from GameStop.com along with Spyro and Genie. Retail price is $9.99. Don't pay more than that. right now, if I had to pick out of the available Wave 4, I would say he's going to be the easiest to come by. Just because Spyro is going to command a lot of attention. And then Genie obviously will be maybe the most sought after, because not everybody, is going to go out and buy Series 2 figures. They already have Spyro and Wrecking Ball from the previous game. And then Genie is brand new. She's going to wrap up accolades for everybody. So, I mean, it may very well be a deal where if you're hunting, Wrecking Ball could be the first of Wave 4 you come across. But nonetheless, hopefully the Wow Pal's good. And again, if you're having trouble finding him, GameStop.com, Amazon, I think, has had him up a few times I've seen. Not as often as GameStop, but, I mean, give it 1 or 2 weeks, maybe 3, and, I mean, it's going to wind up being just like all the others. Most recently, you saw it with Thumpback and Eyebrawl. They're almost impossible to get a hold of, and now they're just sitting on pegs. I mean, I've seen them at Toys R Us and Walmart here, so that should tell you something. But again, for $9.99, you get Series 2 Wrecking Ball, the stat card, the sticker sheet with the web code for Skylanders Spyro's Universe. I guess Skylanders Universe, again, they changed the name. But pretty good repos. I mean, there's not a lot they could do with him. I mean, that's pretty extreme. I guess the only other thing I can cover, I mean, if you're real rough or he takes a tumble, I guess I could see that breaking off. It seems fairly flexible, but something you might want to be leery of with him. But otherwise, I mean, he just looks like a goofball, and that's really kind of how he plays, particularly with his upgrades. So I think a lot of people just enjoy him. He's kind of a Kirby-esque fun character, maybe not as serious as the others. But like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing what his Wow Pow is. And guess we will come in now and wrap things up with Genie and Legendary Light Cord Shield. But until next time, wreck and roll.